crab meat. You know what I'm saying? The crab meat I had, I bought that. I bought jumbo lump crab meat. You dig? And we laid that thing down there like that. You know what I'm saying? We laid it down
Yeah.
flat. Yeah. And I had the angel hair pasta.
Enough said.
You must know that first. Can't nothing and nobody fade what we trying to do and what we about to do. Second thing is, we got this game on our level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hope y'all hungry,
Yeah.
at least for content, because this is what we about to do. We about to serve up a little bit.
Yeah.
We about to pod.
Ooh, we podding. Let's go.
Yeah, we pod. Hey man, shout out to the good people that support us here, man. Right now, it's Scott Vicknair Law Firm. And if you ever in an accident, you got to call them, man. 504-500-1111. They support you as well. All the good sponsors here, man. They, the DraftKings sports book, the Crystal's hot sauce, the John Deere. You know what I mean? The
Believe
Fort
that.
Mitchell. Y'all see them up
Believe
there
that.
next to Pierre and Wayne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And we here to ask y'all one question: should the Pelicans be worried about Dejounte Murray?
Ooh.
And yeah, we gonna watch some film. We gonna talk some shit. Got y'all for about 15, 20 minutes. What else would you rather be doing? Lito, how you doing?
Oh man, every day above ground is a good one. Hey yo, make sure y'all drinking water out there, bro. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're eating right. You know what I'm saying? Like be in the shit for the long haul. And listen, man. Listen. Live by your own standards.
Yeah.
10 minutes a day, all you got to exercise. That's what you got. You did it,
Get
right?
them
Show
shits
up for
in.
yourself. So make sure you show up for yourself this year.
So, speaking of showing up for themselves, Dejounte Murray.
Yeah.
Lito, I'm gonna ask you a question, and then I'm gonna read you some stats. But I want you to start by just telling me yes or no. To the title of the question: should the Pelicans be worried about Dejounte Murray?
See, this is the thing.
I just said yes or no. I see.
See,
See, the rules are already.
but but see, this is the thing though. It's like
Yeah.
I had an answer to that. I had a different answer to that prior to the last game.
Last game against the Washington Wizards changed
Yeah.
your whole outlook
No,
about Dejounte Murray.
the game was different. His
Okay.
foot, the bop in his step was different. It wasn't. It didn't feel like the crazy thing is he's been flirting with triple doubles ever since he came back.
Yep.
But I saw the fun. He was playing with fun yesterday.
He was playing with joy.
Yeah, he had compassion.
Oh, so would you attribute that to them finally getting a win, or would you contribute that or attribute that to that's a hell of good spin,
That's a
boy.
hell of a layup.
Or would you attribute that to him feeling a little bit more like himself, whether that be for rhythm, the time off, or health?
I think really like like the nigga good. You know what I'm saying? Like he can hoop. That's the thing. Like it's not like
He can't hoop. He can't hoop. So I'm gonna read some numbers and I'm gonna go through something me and Grub was talking about the other day. So I'm gonna first start with just the flat numbers, right? Currently he's averaging 15 points per game. He's only played about 19 games. So, got some ground to make up there, and it is a short or a small sample size. Um, let's see here. He has had his last 5 games, 12 assists, 7, 8, and 9. Turnovers though, 4, 1, 4, 4, and 7. The turnovers a little crazy. Right now he's on pace to average the highest amount that he's had average his entire career. He's close to 4 per game right now. 15 points per game, which will be the lowest since his second year in the NBA. Once again, 19 game sample size. Back up to close to about eight assists, averaging about 2 steals, which isn't a surprise there. Right around 6 rebounds. Nice percentage from free throw line. He is shooting god awful from 3, about a quarter. and got off from the field at about 36%. The advanced stats, though, when you see the points, maybe you think, well, the usage is down. Playing a couple games with Brandon, playing games with CJ, the emergence of Trey Murphy, so on and so forth. Nope. Usage almost identical to what it was last year. Once again, 19 games in. His win shares are currently right now a negative, which would be the worst. I mean, he hasn't finished lower than a 2. If you thought his first year, he hasn't finished lower than a 2. So really rough start for him analytically here. It's not, the numbers aren't flattering, Lito. I will tell you in a little bit about the conversation that me and Grub had, and I'm curious your thoughts. But when you hear those numbers and you factor in that it's been close to 20 games and just the overall how bad the team has been, does that, what do you think when you hear those advanced numbers and just those per game numbers? What does that tell you about a player?
Well, yeah, that the stats, it tells you. I don't know. The stats are one thing, but like I don't know if it doesn't tell you everything about the player, and it doesn't tell you everything about the game. But I think that obviously the thing that was bothersome for him being a point guard was when he got back with the turnovers.
Yep.
And of course the poor shooting. But and listen, shout out to him for being a warrior mentally, because the injury, the physical injury is one thing, but to be dealing with your mom, in that situation is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Which I think probably had a more of effect on him than the actual physical injury.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that the other thing that had an effect on him is like Willie Green playing good defense on him.
Explain that.
We had a conversation the other day about players and coaches, and can coaches deter players or hamstring players?
Oof. I will say that's not him right there.
No,
that last that
I don't want to see that.
All right, but I'm sorry, I interrupt you. Keep going.
And basically, like, can coaches hamstring players and make essentially make good players look bad?
Yep.
And Justin at 5 and myself were basically like, how can Dejounte Murray, who has he don't have no smut on his pedigree in the NBA. Like, his record is what it is. He's a good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good basketball player. He's not a great basketball player. He's not an elite basketball player, but he is good. He's very good. And for what he's done in the NBA so far, stat-wise, how could he just forget how to play basketball now that he's here? And then you go into this situation with the Pelicans of what we've been talking about for like the last 4 years. Like, what do you do? What is the thing that you do that it doesn't matter if Chris's team is coming into town? What is the thing that I can say, y'all can't stop this? There's nothing they could do to stop this. What do you do well?
Yeah.
What is it that you hang your hat on and you say, this is what we got? And it got me to thinking about him, especially being a new player, missing time, having to deal with a physical injury, and the illness of his mom, along with having to be coached by a guy who has not set a foundation for an offense in 4 years.
And look, Lito, to your point, when you don't have organization, people start to kind of just do what they want. They go into business for themselves. They do what's comfortable naturally to them versus playing within a system or within, a team strength. You would have to ask whether the Pelicans are healthy or not, what are their strengths? And their strengths should influence principles, right? Or even if you have a few guys that are playing outside of something that fits them naturally, is there a reasonable way that you can get them to buy in? And it just feels like what it's been feeling like. It's a lot of talent on display, and just a whole bunch of freestyling shit. So that would, when I see Dejounte with as many turnovers as get to, I see the guy with the basketball in his hand a lot, but I see him just trying to figure shit out as he goes versus playing within something. Just a dude trying to do too much, right? So talking to Grub, shout out to Grub, man. Y'all checking everything he's doing with the bird rights, of course, and as well as Harden to Paint. Wham. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? But Grubb said he's clearly still hurt. I think it's another case of him being miscast. He was supposed to share the ball handling and creating duties with Ingram and Zion. He's not a natural point guard. You have to create an offense that makes quick decisions for him because he can't do that. That sounds like, and this wasn't what Grubb was saying, because Grubb is he's holding Dejounte accountable, but it also sounds like he was brought here to play with Ingram and Zion, and he's in an offense that doesn't fit the things that he does well so far, and there hasn't been adjustments to really craft something that accommodates to the things that he does well either.
I feel like we saying the same thing. We're sending them right now. Shout out to Grub. You have to accentuate players and highlight their gifts, and I don't believe that we do that here. I haven't seen that with Brandon or Zion. And look, the title of the show is "Were You Concerned About Dejounte?" And I know it sounds crazy that one game made me feel like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying I'm not concerned. I'm just saying the needle was pointing in the other direction now. Like it's more than half full at this point. I feel like maybe he figured some things out because he realized nothing is going to be given to me. Nothing is going to be easy, because if you watch the Pelicans for the last 4 years, nothing about the offense has been easy. Why you know what I'm saying? But because he thought he was coming to an actual organization with a coach that would call plays or not it be so free flowy of an offense, and it just resorts to hero basketball, because he just came from that really in Atlanta, right? And to be told you're coming to play with 1 in 14, and then they're not here. You're trying to figure it out. You've never played with Zion yet in game, whatever game this is on the season. It's very Pelican. It's on brand.
Haven't played with Zion.
It's on brand.
I talked to a assistant coach last year, and one of the things he told me that was interesting to put some things in perspective. He was talking about like rhythm for players. He said it takes the average player 20 to 25 games to find their individual rhythm, and when it comes to a team rhythm, you need at least 40 games. It's almost close to double that.
Mm-hmm.
So Dejounte's battling a couple things right now, but at the same time, to answer the question, I don't think that you've seen enough between who he's been playing with, mainly some of the guy that matters, going forward, right? We can do all the trade things that are sent out about Zion and so on and so forth, and Brandon. We're confident. We can't guarantee you, but we're confident that Zion's going to be on this team. Zion has a future in New Orleans. Brandon does not. But so Dejounte has not, other than a couple preseason games, has not played with Zion. At the same time, it doesn't excuse him shooting 26% from three. And organization or not, you can't average close to 4 turnovers a game. You just can't. As the point guard, whether that is your natural, even if you're not a general of sorts, if you're not a conductor, you can't give away the ball that much and you can't be as poor of a shooter as you are right now, regardless of what the excuses. He has to figure that out. I give him some bail, and I'm not worried because I'm with you. I think he's a good basketball player, and I think he's a competitor that's going to and wants to figure it out. But the shooting and the turnovers, they have to improve no matter the circumstance to me.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grub. If he's not, if you wouldn't consider him a natural point guard, would he be your go-to too?
I don't know if you put necessarily a position on him. I think you have to naturally you pin him as a point. I think he's more of a combo guard than he is necessarily just a point,
Okay.
right? He's a combo, a guy that can play the one, a guy that can play the two. He's not a point guard, I think, from a traditional sense, even though he has that in his bag when that he can go to. I don't think mentally he's consistently thinking, crafting different creative ways to find guys to basketball, right? He's not in the same ilk of like some of the shorter guys that we see that operate that way. But it doesn't mean that he can't have stretches where he is that dude. He may want to, but his best attribute, his best skill is him down here. Dejounte in transition, Dejounte on the run is where he's at his best to me. And they just because of injuries, because of defense, because of fit, because of even some things that are his responsibility, you haven't seen a whole bunch of that. But hopefully, like you said, he's starting to figure some things out. Again, he's still a good player. And look, if you got him on your fantasy team, you should be happy because he's gonna, get you close to 15 points a night. He's gonna get you over 6 rebounds. He's gonna get you close to 10 assists. And like you said, triple double threat as of late. It's gonna be interesting to see how it develops specifically when Zion comes back to see how that relationship matures with the emergence and Yves Missy clearly being the starting center, Trey Murphy back in the fold, who Zion hasn't played with at all, even in the games that he played early in the year or in preseason due to Trey's injury, them kind of overlapping and kind of see what goes. Because then who goes to the bench? And that might lead us to our next show. Who goes to the bench? Yo, man, appreciate y'all as always, man.
Hold up, Chris. Before you get out of here, let me ask you a question. How you know how to pronounce my screen name?
Aren't you Muslim?